This is the Berman Method podcast featuring Dr. Jake Berman and physician assistant Jenni Berman. We are here to treat problems and not symptoms. Disclaimer, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and not to treat anyone or to give medical advice. If you are interested in any information that we are giving and would like to use this for yourself, we recommend that you contact your primary care physician or reach out to us and ask us questions about yourself specifically. Enjoy.
And we are back, baby, with the Berman Method podcast, focused on treating problems, not symptoms. David going against Goliath, Goliath being the corporate medical system, health insurance companies, big pharmaceuticals. They do not have your best interests in mind. A patient cured is a customer lost. So why in the world would they want to cure you? If you get cured, you're out of the system. You're no longer spending money. Have you ever thought about why all of these vaccines are free? Think about that. I just driving to work the other day, CVS had a big sign, come in and get your free COVID and flu combination vaccine. We're in May now or April. It's like, what? Like, why are you giving away free COVID and flu vaccines? Nothing is free. Where's the money coming from?
That's true.
Pharmaceutical companies don't do anything for free.
Right.
So who's paying them?
All these premiums that we're paying.
Yes, you're paying them. It's not free.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's absolutely nuts to think that they're just getting away with marketing these quote unquote free vaccines. They're not free. They're these giant multi-billion dollar deals that are happening. Anyways, that's not the point of today's topic. Today's topic, we're going to go over some basic fundamentals. More often, you need to be reminded more than you need to hear something new. So in general, you have to hear something at least 7 times before you remember it, and probably closer to double that before you actually think of it front of mind. So today we're going to go over some really basic, generic statements. So this is not individualized. These are generic, high-level statements. For example, how much protein should we be consuming a day? In general, the answer is?
Well, in general, we're going between 1 to 2 grams per kilogram in general. That's a wide range, though. 1 to 2 grams per kilogram is a wide range. So that's where it becomes a little bit more individualized based on muscle mass and activity. But for instance, our general female population in the 50 plus population is getting between 100 to 120 grams of protein per day. And our males in general are somewhere between 140 to 160 grams of protein per day in our 50 plus population.
Okay, good. Those are very general things. I'm trying not to get Jenni too in the weeds here right now. And in general, what's the most amount of protein you should consume in a meal?
About 40 grams of protein per meal is the maximum of what we can break down and utilize for energy, metabolize and utilize for energy.
Okay, so let me be a male right now and say, well, what about that 16-ounce porterhouse steak? How many grams of protein are in that?
Well, let's see. If there's approximately in steak, I'm doing some math here. So that's a pound, right? 16 ounces is a pound. And we're looking at 24 grams of protein per quarter. So 20, 40, 60, 80... So
almost 100 grams of protein in that steak.
Yeah.
So I ate it. I got 100 grams in.
Right.
But what's actually happening if I can only digest and consume 40 grams? What happens to the other 60?
You're metabolizing about 40 grams to be put into the cell for fuel. Then we're storing the other 60 grams, which most likely will turn to fat.
Okay. That's all we needed to hear right there. Again, just very superficial. If you eat 100 grams of protein in one serving, you're going to metabolize 40 of it. And in general, 60 of it is going to be stored as fat.
Right. Right.
There you go, right there.
So here you think that eating more protein is going to help the metabolism to lose weight and burn fat. And that's true if we're doing it the right way. But that does not mean we can go then consume 50, 60 grams of protein per sitting and expect that the metabolism is going to be functioning efficiently.
And again, not to go into the weeds or down a rabbit hole here, this is one of the cons to intermittent fasting, right? So there's a lot of people that do intermittent fasting, and then they try to consume enough protein in 2 meals.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, well, I got 100 grams of protein in.
Right. And I only ate in my 8-hour window. But yeah, intermittent fasting, you're going to struggle either with getting enough protein in, or you're consuming too much protein within a short window of time that your metabolism's not actually processing it well.
Got it. And again, these are very general statements. Of course, there's going to be the 1 or 2 out of 10 where this works perfectly for. We're talking about generalities. There's always going to be one person that gets shredded, ripped nasty, and all they eat is cookies, donuts, and drink beer. Mm-hmm. There's always going to be that. That used to be me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't eat that bad.
Oh, hamburger helper, cereal, spaghetti, tacos. That was your menu when I met you. And you were shredded. And cookies. And full fat milk.
2%, not full fat.
Oh.
I never did full.
Oh.
No. 2 gallons a week, though.
2 gallons of milk a week. 2 boxes of hamburger helper. Tacos with corn tortillas.
Yep.
Hard shell.
Spaghetti.
Yeah. Spaghetti.
At least once a week.
And cereal.
Cereal for dessert every night.
Uh-huh.
And at least
12 cookies.
At least 12 cookies a week.
Yeah.
At least.
And you were shredded.
Shredded.
So you were that one outlier.
I was.
Okay, anyways,
yeah, not able to do it anymore. So we talked about protein. What about water?
A gallon. Drink a gallon of water with your electrolytes.
Yeah.
Every day.
A gallon of water a day keeps Jenni Berman away. And don't forget, because I questioned this same thing. I'm like, well, let's go back to 200 years ago. There's no way water was that readily available that the normal, natural thing to do was to drink a gallon of water a day. So why do we have to drink a gallon of water a day today?
You were also eating fresh fruits, vegetables, and proteins 200 years ago, not processed foods.
Yeah. So that's the biggest difference is the food is not the same today as it was 200 years ago. So you have to drink more water to essentially flush out or dilute the crap that we're consuming all day, every day.
Right. Toxins, bacteria. And then I'll have the individuals say, well, I eat so clean, then I don't need to be drinking that much water. But again, our environment is different. The pollution is different. The medications, the supplements we're using. I mean, it's all just so different than it was 200 years ago. So yes, 100 to 128 ounces of water a day is the recommendation, as long as you're getting the right electrolytes. And of course, this is a generic blanket statement, not covering people with kidney disease or heart disease.
Yeah, this is generic. And just to go ahead and squash all the ones saying, well, I'll be peeing every 10 minutes. Yes, you will for the first few days or even week until your body acclimates to it. So just stick with it. 2 weeks later, if you do it every single day, you're not going to be peeing every 10 minutes and you're going to be fine. Next one is breakfast. Still to this day, I mean, I cannot tell you, there's not a week that goes by that I don't hear somebody telling me that they're eating oatmeal, fruit, and peanut butter toast with a glass of orange juice for breakfast and thinking that they're doing an amazing job.
Right. Or just not eating breakfast because they weren't hungry, so just don't eat.
Yeah, one of the twos. And I'm going, oh my gosh, that is horrible. Mm-hmm. It's such an old school thought process. You have to understand the people that said that was healthy are the ones that came up with the food pyramid.
Right.
I mean, look at the food pyramid. It came out in the 80s once there was that huge transition from when they started to outlaw tobacco is when it happened. So now you've got these multi-trillion dollar, we shouldn't even go down this road right now. We could talk about this for hours. But anyways, the people that told you that that's healthy to eat, look at the food pyramid.
Right.
Just Google right now. Pull up your phone if you're not driving and Google what is the food pyramid for an elementary school kid in America.
Right.
Remember when we did this a couple months ago?
Yeah.
I mean, it's nuts. They literally say processed sugar should be in the diet.
Right. Which is just nuts. So, it's not that oatmeal is bad, but we need some protein with the oatmeal. We need to throw some egg whites into it, throw a protein drink into it instead of using milk. You got to get some protein with the oatmeal to balance the carbohydrates. We should not be having oatmeal, fruit, and toast all together at breakfast because it's just carbs, carbs, and carbs. It's not sustaining us. It's not providing energy. If you're going to have the toast with the peanut butter, use the PB2 so you get more protein. Add some eggs to it, add a protein drink to it, add some sausage to it, something for protein.
Yes, and for complete transparency, I eat oatmeal for breakfast 5 nights a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, mornings.
Yeah.
5 mornings a week, Monday through Friday. But it's Jenni's concoction of egg whites.
Well, I don't do egg whites for you anymore because we've taken eggs out of your diet. So we're using the lupini flakes, which are very, very protein dense, a protein drink or collagen powder included in the oats. And then you also have a protein shake too in the mornings with your oatmeal. So you're getting quality protein.
Yeah. Good?
Yeah.
Okay, so we went over how much protein should you consume a day, how much should you consume in one setting, how much water should you drink a day? What should breakfast look like? Now let's go into one of the fun ones.
Oh boy.
Dinner at a restaurant. Dinner at a restaurant. Or let's just talk about restaurants in general.
I just posted about this on social media last week. We had 2 client dinners last week. So we hardly ever eat out during the week. Sunday through Thursday, we eat at home, and then we usually eat out Friday, Saturday evenings. But last week we had 2 client dinners, so we were out 2 days.
You and I were out with our clients 2 nights last week.
Yes, out to eat 2 nights during the week last week. And I had just posted about this a couple of days ago saying you can always modify your meals out. We have clients tell us all the time, well, we have so many meals out. It's just so hard. It's not hard. You just have to know what to do. Kind of like the last episode where we talked about with the back pain. Back pain is not difficult to work through if you know what you're doing. You have to see the right person, know what you're treating. Same thing with the menus. You can always modify menus, and 99.9% of the time the restaurants are willing to do it. The clubs are willing to do it. You may have a $5 upcharge or whatever it is, but your health is your investment, right? It's an investment into your health. So you can always modify meals. You just have to know how to modify them. So one of the meals out we had last week with a client dinner, we were at the club and
the country club.
The country club, yes. So there were a few gluten-free meals, but then if they were gluten-free, they either were like cauliflower pizza, which doesn't fit my macros, or maybe it has dairy on it and I didn't want to have that. So I had to modify a vegan meal to add fish to it to allow me to have some extra protein on the vegetarian or vegan meal that was on the menu. You can always modify your meals.
That's huge right there. Absolutely huge, because every single time we go to a restaurant, there's a lot of times where I won't even look at the menu because I know that there's nothing on there that I'm going to eat.
Mm-hmm.
I literally go into a restaurant saying, this is what I'm going to have tonight. It's going to be a steak and some type of veggie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I got at the country club.
Right.
I didn't even look at them. I did just because I like it. It always entertains me.
Right.
Every single time. 99% of the stuff on every single menu is just horrible.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely horrible. It's just carb, 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 a little bit of protein, carb, 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 carb.
Right. And, the interesting thing about the country club menu, on the sides list, on the one we went to, on the sides list, there was 1 vegetable on the sides. There were 12 sides and one was a vegetable, and it was asparagus. But then you look at the menu and there's dishes that have edamame and cabbage and spinach and I think lentils. Like there were all sorts of vegetables in the meals, but you couldn't get them as a side. I was like, what in the world? But the other 11 sides available were all carbohydrates. Regular potatoes, sweet potatoes, pasta. It was nuts.
Okay, and just to transition just a little bit, still on restaurants. So in general, lunch and dinner menus, you can get by with modifying and getting protein. The things that crack both of us up is breakfast. Going out to breakfast. There's somebody listening to this podcast right now where your low-hanging fruit is to modify your breakfast out at the restaurant. Every single time you and I go out to breakfast, I'm doing it. You have to be doing it.
Right.
I just look around at all the tables next to me and I'm not judging. I don't want you to think that I'm judging. I'm observing. I'm observing what everybody else is eating, thinking that they're doing a good job.
Right. That's the thing. They don't know what they're getting is not optimal.
Yeah, you think you're doing a good job, and you're not. You're shooting yourself in the foot. You're getting a 16-ounce glass of orange juice with a blueberry muffin, 1 egg, 1 piece of bacon, and a pancake.
Right. And think that you got your protein in, you got your 1 piece of bacon and your 1 egg. There's your 8 grams of protein.
How much protein in 1 egg at a restaurant?
6 grams.
6 grams. Okay.
If it's a whole egg.
If it's a whole egg.
And if you eat the yolk.
Yep. So if you get 2 eggs, 2 pieces of bacon, 2 slices of toast, and a 16-ounce glass of orange juice, how much protein in that meal?
17 grams of protein, because I give 1 for the slice of toast. So 17 grams of protein, and then you're at, 24, 38, 40 grams of carbohydrates.
Is that a good ratio, 17 to 40?
No, definitely not. What a lot of people don't realize is a glass of orange juice has 24 grams of sugar in it.
Yeah. That's the crazy part is you have
That's a bowl of ice cream. We did a whole podcast on this. We should link that podcast where we went through. Remember that? Where we went through and figured out the grams of sugar and carbohydrates to quote unquote healthy things like orange juice and apple juice versus ice cream and Snickers bars.
Yeah, I remember I asked you on this that episode, I said, what's more healthy, a glass of orange juice or a bowl of ice cream?
Yeah, and a bowl of ice cream is healthier. At least it has some calcium in it.
And protein.
Jeez. Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts.
So one of my favorite items to order at breakfast, what's my most favorite item to order at breakfast when I'm trying to do it the right way?
Corned beef hash.
And what?
5 eggs over medium.
Yeah. So I'll get 5 eggs over medium and corned beef hash. And that's it. So yeah, there's potatoes in the corned beef hash. But at
least you're getting 40 grams of protein between the 5 eggs and the corned beef.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people listening to this going, 5 eggs? Are you serious?
Their cholesterol is skyrocketing just thinking about that.
Come on. That has been killed.
That's not true. Eggs do not increase your cholesterol.
If you still think eggs increase your cholesterol, we've got a problem. You need to go back to episode 1 of the Berman Method podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of my favorite things to do, especially down in Key West. I mean, Key West, when we go down there, the menus are not great at all. So there's many times that I'll just order 6 eggs over medium and bacon, or 6 eggs over medium and sausage. It's like, okay, I'll take a bite or 2 of this toast or some hash browns, but it's just so bad.
Right. And breakfast can certainly be challenging out if you can't eat eggs. If you can't or don't eat eggs, then breakfast out can certainly be challenging, but there's still always ways to modify.
That's where I'm at right now. Technically, I'm not supposed to be eating eggs, so I'm eating duck eggs and turkey eggs because it's not the same sensitivity. It doesn't respond the same in your body, so I'm eating duck eggs and turkey eggs here at home. However, they don't have those at restaurants, so I'll go out and I'll order corned beef hash, sausage, and bacon.
Right. A meat platter, essentially. But there are some places that do have like oatmeal that maybe you bring a vegan protein drink to mix into the oatmeal, the protein powder, or maybe they have some sort of plant-based protein option. Like there are some places that have the just egg, which is the plant-based egg. So there's always options to modify when you're out, but you have to make sure you're getting enough protein at breakfast. I am forever, when I go out and order vegetable omelets, adding chicken to it, adding chicken sausage, adding ham, adding some sort of protein to the omelet or to the frittata, the crustless quiche, things that we're getting. So having vegetables and having that extra protein.
Love it, love it, love it. So this is a great episode. Make sure you bookmark this episode, share this episode. This should probably be one of the most shared episodes that we've ever recorded. It's short, to the point, simple, immediately actionable, tactical items on this episode. So please like and subscribe and share this. And give us a thumbs up, especially on YouTube. If you're watching this or listening to this on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, share this, because it really does help out the algorithm. People are starting to find us organically. We're getting more and more people that are stumbling across our content, and it really does help if you give us a thumbs up, give us a share, because YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, they will put us higher in the algorithm, and then this will spread more and more and more, and we'll start saving more and more lives. Look at that Superman cape on.
That was beautiful. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Ciao for now. Thank you for subscribing on your social media and podcast platforms to the Berman Method. Dr. Jake Berman with Berman Physical Therapy and Jenni Berman, Physician Assistant with Berman Health and Wellness. You can find more information on our website, www.bermanpt.com for physical therapy, bermanpt.com/wellness for the health and wellness. You can also find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and on your podcast platform. So be sure to follow us, like us, subscribe to us. And if you would like any further information, definitely visit our website and reach out to us. You may also find our free reports on the websites as well, where you can download this free information for yourself. Have a great day.